In sustainable finance, thematic instruments are essential tools that guide capital toward projects designed to create positive environmental and social change. These instruments help investors make smart choices, directing their money to initiatives that not only make financial sense, but also address today's most pressing problems like fighting climate change, supporting renewable energy, and improving social well-being.
So thematic instruments are basically instruments which can be used to raise capital for environmental benefits as well as benefits which are to the natural ecosystems. So for example, we have green bonds which can be issued. We have sustainable bonds. So sustainable bonds is a combination of green bonds and social aspects as well. We also have sustainability linked bond which are specifically KPI linked. And we also have nature bonds which can be used to finance natural ecosystems, for example, maybe forestation programs or even biodiversity financing. And we also have gender bonds which are mainly for raising capital to provide financing to women-led businesses. So these are mainly businesses which are spearheaded by women and they don't have the access to finance through the banks. So they can access this financing more cheaply and they can grow their businesses in order to scale up further.
Africa is increasingly on the radar for investors focused on making a meaningful environmental and social impact. The continent's rich potential, particularly in renewable energy and sustainable agriculture, presents exciting opportunities. Still, despite these prospects, private sector investment in Africa continues to be relatively modest, hindering broader progress.
Africa, out of the global climate finance flows, we are only attracting about 2 to 2.3%. And last year, in 2023, we attracted about 30 billion, and only 14% of that was from the private sector. Yet, a lot can be done in the private sector to attract that capital. And the private sector, it can be pension funds, it can also be insurance funds, but this can also be supported by other international investors who come in, like the development finance institutions or impact investors. The main challenge in Africa has been the supply side of quality projects, which can raise such kind of financing. So we have seen so far in Africa, there are very many thematic instruments which have been issued. So for example, in Botswana, we have the ABSA bond, which raised 80 million pullers. In Kenya also, we have 3 instruments which are green instruments. They raised a total of about $77 million. In Tanzania, we have supported transactions which are medium-term note programs in excess of $800 million worth of capital that they're looking to raise over time. So there is capital which is available. Obviously, the investors are looking at the specific aspects of what that capital will be used for. So for thematic instruments, you have the financial return, but you also have the environmental benefits which come with it. So there is a blend of both which the investors get.
For long-term sustainability, project owners should mitigate investment risks by setting up proper governance standards and adhering to global frameworks, such as the Green Bond Guidelines.
Okay, so risk can be mitigated based on proper governance frameworks. And also we have international standards. So like the ICMA standards, we have the CBI standards, we have the Green Bond Guidelines, which can be used. So as much as an African issuer abides and follows those standards, then the risk is more or less mitigated. On top of that, there is annual reporting. So once you've raised the capital, you have to report to the investors where the money has been used or allocated. And if there is any unallocation, where is it? Unallocated capital can be invested in short-term instruments so that when the projects come on board, they can easily be reallocated to those projects. So risk can be easily mitigated with the governance framework. And also for thematic instruments, we have a framework which is developed before they can raise the capital from the market.
When it comes to investing, especially in emerging markets like Africa, de-risking mechanisms play a crucial role in protecting investors from potential losses.
So there are de-risking mechanisms which can be used, but this one depends on a case-by-case study. So for example, in some sectors you might need de-risking mechanisms. For instance, in the construction sector, when you raise capital for building affordable houses, there's maybe 2 years it will take to develop those houses, but the investors would like to be receiving their interest payments. So when they receive the interest payments, guarantors can come in and maybe say for 2 years we will pay the interest payments, and then some other guarantors can also provide guarantee on the principal. So let's say in case the issuer defaults, they will still get a certain percentage of their investment capital back in case it defaults. But we haven't seen a case where we have seen any defaults. But yes, we have seen supported issuances where they are guaranteed. So for example, in Kenya we have green bond issuances where the 𝐀𝐟𝐫 Holdings was the issuer, and they were guaranteed by 2 guarantors, one for the 2-year coupon payments and one for a percentage of the principal payment.